Okay, here we go. This is an introduction to one of my chapters, The Ape in Denial. Okay, I would like to point out a few things about two specific apes. The chimpanzees tend to be patriarchal. Uh, the bonobos tend to be matriarchal. Well, they are. They are matriarchal. Alright? Yeah. So basically, males are dominant in the patriarchal chimpanzee society, and bonobos are dominant in the female matriarchal society. Of course, bonobos. Alright, now, we should not analyze this through good and evil yet. Why? Alright. Richard, I'm going to have to point out some things that the South and certain parts of our culture do not like about their bonobo. One, the chimpanzee is physically violent, aggressive. Okay, that can be seen as a devil or a taboo or as a form of evil. However, the bonobo is very highly sexual. I have not heard of any cases of a male chimpanzee, common chimpanzee, molesting or having sex with infants or hurting the infants while having sex. They don't even have sex with infants. Yeah, I've heard no cases, and if I'm wrong, tell me. Yeah, I'd probably be in captivity if I am wrong. So, yes, I do believe the bonobo has been over-idealized as egalitarian because they're not egalitarian. They're matriarchal. And the females are socially dominant, so they pick and choose who they mate with. Now, some of these males that are lower on the dominance hierarchy. Now, a female will mate with a low-ranking male if he finds food in the bonobo. If he finds food, he offers the food to the female, and she will mate with him. However, say they've already fed, stuff like that. Well, the bonobo is highly sexual. Low-ranking males. Here's aggression. They will molest lower-ranking infants or on up the hierarchy. If they feel aggressive, like if they're like they take it out on the young sexually, is my point. Oftentimes, if a female does not willingly mate, sometimes these males in the bonobo will molest infants, and they'll be screeching oftentimes. I've heard of this. Yeah, it's painful. So, good and evil, right and left, depends. Okay, this is an expansion of psychoanalysis regarding ape psyche, where Freud went wrong. Freud really didn't go wrong. However, he equated everything with sex when there are two snakes, not just one. Now, Freud did basically equate everything, just about even eating, with sex. Pleasure, the pleasure principle. Now, there's a flip side to the pleasure principle, which is the pain principle. To be a carnivore, you do have to go through pain in order to hunt. Yes, you get trampled on. Yes, you get bruised. But it is the pain principle on the mental side of the higher psyche. Okay. Now, Freud didn't go wrong. He just did not have you, Richard, you, Jane Goodall, all you fellow primatologists, to clearly show him the evolution of the human psyche. Freud didn't go wrong. The complete psyche model. The it. Okay? This side will be masculine. This side will be female. Feminine. Okay? Alright. Now, I'm clarifying some of what Freud was saying. Libido, positive. There are positive and negatives on each individual section of the psyche, whether from id to superego to ego. You'll see once I get there. Hang on. Libido, positive. Life instincts, to eat. To eat, usually plants. Herbivoria. Herbivoria. Okay. Hunger, thirst, shade, to find shade, and it almost would be better if I did all this in Latin. To find shade, to find water, to find water. This is libido positive up here. You see it? It is the left. 2. Alright, now if there is a fight or flight response, it is to run, to fly, to run, to fly. Fly in the face of danger. Even good soldiers know when to fucking run. Libido positive. Now, on the other side, Freud completely missed this one and left it out. And I'm sitting here reading books about chimpanzees, about how nurturing and loving and caring they are, and it's like, good grief, this is sticking out like a sore thumb. He missed something. Libido negative, the nurturing instinct. Negative, nurturing instinct. Instinct. So, also, let me point out, in order for these instincts to develop from infant on up, what would be another form of libido positive to find nourishment? To suckle. To suckle. Libido positive. To suckle. To be held. To be held. To be touched. To be held. Libido positive baby. He's learning libido, even if it's a male infant, is learning libido negative, the nurturing instinct. To caress would be a form of libido negative. To caress. To caress. Which also could be part, see, this is going to have to be loose, but it could also be a part of libido positive. the female sexuality. Now, if a female did get sexually aroused by something like this, it's usually towards a certain specific type of stimuli, like a male. Right. Nurturing instinct, to caress, to give of oneself, basically. To give of oneself. Not entirely. It's a mixture. That is clearly a mixture because it's got destructive negative in it. You see how these words are not perfect. So, but yeah, female half. I'll be done in a minute, baby. Now, on the male half, destructive positive. Okay. The urge to mount, to win, to kill. The urge to mount, to kill, to win. Now that one's clearly going to need some ego to win, right? But see, even animals, they need to use their prefrontal cortex in order to perform an attack. Okay, destructive positive. Now, yeah, I pointed out all the stuff that Freud didn't say. But regarding sex, female sexuality is to make love. Libido positive. Female sexuality. To make love. To make love. To make love. However, on the male side, I have no other word, so forgive me. To fuck. To fuck. Now, you could see how somebody could possibly get their wires crossed. However, usually it's female stimuli, visual female stimuli to get the urge to fuck. Okay? Why do boys and girls not wrestle with each other? Why do they not play rough with each other oftentimes? Well, oftentimes, we're taught this from a very early age. Do not wrestle, do not hit girls, do not take advantage of girls. And that's our culture hexes, of course. But why? If he mounts her, he might get the urge to fuck. Okay. So, destructive positive. And it's the urge to eat, but it's more like you have to kill it, carnivoria, to eat. Let's say to eat. See, the way we have it now, to eat meat, it's all processed now. The whole hunting thing is gone, so it would be more libido positive, even if you are eating protein and meat and stuff like that, wouldn't it? But let's go back a few thousand years, 60,000 years ago, and say it's the urge to eat meat, to eat protein, meat, prey, prey. Now, the good half of the male psyche, destructive negative. Negative. Now, this is also the urge to get to the top of the hierarchy. Urge, destructive positive is the urge to get to the top of the hierarchy. To be alpha. However, ladies, we're going to keep this loose. Libido positive. Your urge to get to the top. How you get to the top. The urge to get to the top. Libido positive. You're more social. Use your mouth, your words, rather than a fist. the urge to get to the top. In order to what? Provide for your babies. And be doing that. Urge to get to top. Alright. Now, destructo negative. See how this is self-sacrificing here on libido negative? To nurture, to caress, to hold, to provide? Well, no. Oh, I said provide. There we go. Well, in order to provide, a male must face death. This is both a combination of destructo negative and destructo positive. What do I mean by destructo negative? To willingly sacrifice oneself. To willingly sacrifice oneself. See how this is eventually going to get tied into the altruism axis. Okay. Now, you're not going to completely try to, go crazy and kill yourself, right? But you may have to face danger, and you might quite potentially get killed while hunting prey. Destructo negative. Now, then I must clear this. This shows the hierarchy from the bottom to the top. Destructo positive. Destructo negative looks at the hierarchy in opposite order. They look at it from who do you need to protect most? The young. Protect the meek first. Protect meek first. The young. The infirm. Especially the young. Now, I hate to tell you, elders, you're still put first usually, but it's the young first, and then it's usually females second. Females would be second. Protect females. Females. And then it would be to protect the old or the sick. Protect old. Old or sick. Now, people, I'm going to tell you something. I've seen this on YouTube. A man saw a child about to get run over by a car. He didn't have time to think. He just reacted. He pushed the child out of the way of the car and got nailed by this car. He died. Destructo negative. Clear example. So, how would this tie into the altruism axis? Altruism. Positive and negative. Altruism. Who gave me this idea? Philip Rushton. Altruism axis. Okay, let's see. How should I do it? See, I kind of turn it like a cross when I do it. Usually on this, but I've got it sideways now. Okay, so. Alright, let me get my bearings straight. Altruism, positive. Well, I'll put alt, positive. Alt, negative on the other side, which would probably be hate. Or something akin to it. This is not perfect. See, the only word we have for it is to hate. It's imperfect. Okay. Alright. Let's see. And this will work just about any way I draw. And the other axis is the culture axis. Culture. Programming. Learning. Who do you learn from first in the family? The mother. Culture positive. Yes, that would be culture positive. That would be culture positive. Culture positive. To help the group. To help the group. To help the group. To help the young. To teach. To teach. Culture positive. To teach. Culture positive. However, this is the matriarchal side. Whoa. Matriarchal side of culture. Matriarchal. Matriarchal. Culture negative would be how to protect the patriarchal side. Culture negative. Patriarchal. To how you learn to defend the group. Yes, there are clear examples where a male will step in and defend a female, an infant, or another group member when they fight. No, I got your back. Bam! Patriarchal culture negative. To defend the group. And it's still lessons. It's still teaching to teach. Probably through aggression more than nurture. Right? Altruism positive would be unconditional love, usually towards your offspring. Purest form. Unconditional love. Altruism positive. Unconditional love. Unconditional love toward offspring. Usually towards offspring. The most genetically similar. Usually toward most genetically similar. Genetically similar. Similar. Okay, so how would the hierarchy go? Okay, from altruism positive, unconditional love towards your offspring. Next, this would have to be loose. Now, with males, if they have a female child, they usually protect and love and nurture the opposite sex child more than the same sex child. Now, this may be genetically and culturally influenced. It's probably a combination thereof. And would be altruism positive. So you got your family, your friends, and then other genetically similar individuals, acquaintances, all that, so on and so forth. Now, family. Let's put family right here. Let's put enemy on the other side. Altruism negative. Enemy. Hate. To hate. Okay. To hate. Altruism negative. Now, how it works. Well, eventually these will form spokes on a wheel, won't they? This is a behavioral class, after all. Okay, the ego. Now, here's the thing about the ego. And this is my last step, and so it's still evolving. Now, of course, okay. So, you have your id. Here, id. Superego. super ego, which is a combination of altruism and culture. Super ego, and then your ego. Now, the ego to me is more like a sphere rather than a wheel. And this part is tentative and it's imperfect. Well, this whole thing is imperfect. So somebody else will have to come along and clarify, and plus we're going to be constantly evolving though. Okay? So, alright. I'm going to have to mix Jung up with Freud here. There are certain parts of the id and of the superego that are in the unconscious. Shadow and light. Okay. Certain parts, you act like if you come into a new group that is culturally different from you, and you're aware of this, then you will have to consciously or unconsciously suppress certain ideas, behaviors, and etc. You push it into the shadow. Okay? Now, however, it's a revolving wheel, and certain parts of, oh, I'm like them this way, so it pours into consciousness. I'm similar to them this way. I can be a part of this culture. So that's how it kind of ebbs and flows. A lot of us are in denial about certain aspects of our complete psyche, or we actively repress or suppress, change the thought, certain ideas in order that we can communicate and still be a member of the group. Okay. He says light and positive. There is light and there's shadow. Now, critical thinking. There is logic. There is logic. See, this is going it's so axial that this little simple diagram cannot explain it. It'd have to be a 3D model. Because, see, here with critical thinking, a part of your intuition, even if you are critically thinking using logic and reason, you still have to pull from the motive side. Why do I feel this way? Well, perhaps I need to investigate. Logic and reason is one half, the masculine half, logic and reason. I'm going to put it up here. Logic and reason. On one side, masculine. Yeah. That doesn't mean you're stupid, ladies. No, of course it does not. The intuitive half, the female half, the emotional half, the motive. Intuitive. Okay. 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 You have positive emotions. Let's say positive, happy emotions. Positive emotions. Emotions positive. Positive. Say emotions positive. Emotions negatives, like sadness. You feel like you really want to kill yourself. Depression. Emotions negative. Emotions negative. Female psyche. Right. Now, with logic. Hmm. See, that's where I'm having trouble right there. Now, how would I describe logic? I wouldn't say illogic. So damn coaxial. I mean, you're even if, like, say you had yourself locked away in a dark room, you would have to feel your way around, but you would have to map it out inside your mind, inside your imagination. You would be forming the image as you're feeling your way around in the darkness. The imagination. See, there's another axis right there. The imagination. Logic. Alright, I have to pull memory residues from the culture axis. And hell, you might even have feelings, sensations that you remember from your culture axis. And well, yeah, it's a combination of the id and the culture and superego that you pull. I feel it, and I see it, and I see the way, logic and reason. How do I solve this problem? So, I'm still kind of stumped on the ego because it's so coaxial. Like I said, I think it's more of a sphere than a cogs on a wheel or something like that. Let's see. Moving along. So, the ego, I'm still stuck a little bit. A little bit, not entirely. Now, there's something in the middle called the soul. And y'all aren't going to like me saying that. But it's a stairwell that can get you either higher or lower depending upon which direction you take. It can take you all the way down into the pit of hell. But there's no bottom to the pit. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. Yeah, you can be alive, but you can be utterly miserable and hell. Now, and looks are deceiving. You may see a stairwell leading up, but you're already upside down. And you go the wrong way. So, in order to get up the stairwell, you have to move towards the light. You'd be searching for the light. Yes, you won't have to search your entire psyche. You won't have to pray. If not praying, meditate to get back up. And here's the thing. You will never reach God. But you may see Him. Just like you can see the devil down in the pit. Okay. So, patriarchal males in chimpanzee society, of course, they have high testosterone levels, 10 times more testosterone than men. Now, their habitat is somewhat resource restrictive in certain areas. It's not easy for females to forage for food and find food like it is for the female bonobo. So, you do need males that have higher testosterone, more athletic, go fucking foraging for food and go leading the charge against leopards and any other predator or prey they may come upon. They need to hunt in order to, and now their hunting does help They're more carnivorous than the bonobo, but it does help brain development. But you're not going to find the type of intelligence we've been looking for, which is the social intelligence. The social intelligence, the female psyche dominant intelligence of the bonobo. You're not going to find that intelligence. What you will find on the patriarchal half of common chimpanzees is the tactical, the imaginative, prefrontal cortex dominant intelligence. Yeah, patriarchal societies tend to be heterosexual. Uh, Matriarchal societies, Western people, Western culture tends to be co-dominant and actually downright female dominant patriarchal regarding certain things. Sexuality. We don't care if you're gay. Go ahead, whatever, as long as you're not hurting children, right? We put the children first, of course. Humans, pan-human. We usually put the children first. Now, of course, where do our violent killer instinct and aggression come from? It's our closest relative on the patriarchal side is the eastern chimpanzee. Now, this group of chimpanzees, the males, are non-transient, meaning they do not move usually from group to group. That's why we share so much. Hang on, I haven't got there yet. The females are transient. If they see more bountiful resources to the south, to the north, to the west, to the east, and they're having some sexual repression going on because it would be incest. There's too many genes like them around. Now, they're not consciously thinking this. They just don't find all the males there sexually attractive. So, the female, pan prior, well, shit, just right after the split, the females, human females went north, along with the patriarchal males, but most of your bonobo genes went south. So that's why I think we're gonna find, if we look closely, the female genes are they're more closely related to the bonobo, but in the eastern chimpanzee, on the male half, the male genes will be more closely related to the eastern chimpanzee. That is my theory, and I haven't quite found the information yet to prove it. Nail it down. Okay. Let's see. So, what you have in bonobo society. Let me go back up to the patriarchal males and chimpanzees. Males have penis spines, real pronounced penis spines. Now, would bisexual sex be pleasurable to males? No, clearly not. They wouldn't want to do it, and they're generally wired towards aggression or being dominant, or trying to get up the alpha male ladder. But when certain sexual stimuli, like a female in estrus comes along, switch right over to sex, heterosexual. However, when you have hidden estrus, you're basically turned on all the time for males. So, you're probably going to have sex all the time. It's kind of takes the, releases the air right out of the entire, it. It just releases it. Because he mounts and makes more love like a bonobo. But it releases some of that stored testosterone, so aggressivity levels are going to be lower. And I would point out that the female bonobo has exactly as much, or just about as much, if not more, testosterone than the males do. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? But that also makes them more socially dominant. Now, they will form coalitions. Females will form coalitions, and if a male gets out of hand, they will beat his ass if they have to. Yeah, especially when it comes to the young. No, we're not going to mate with you being act all, you know, going like this with a tree branch. No, they ignore them. They have control over the sexual selection part of their nature. So, going on the matriarch, food is abundant and easy to get to for females compared to chimpanzee habitat. So, the underlying problem is not finding food. It is more intergroup aggression that could be the problem that could possibly make young not move up and blossom. I'd also point out that females are much more sensitive to testosterone than males are. Now, if they have as much testosterone as a male, they're clearly going to be dominant. Yes, bisexual. I think I've been looking for penis spines on bonobos. I know common chimpanzees have them, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, bonobos have slightly reduced penis spines, if none at all. I'm not quite entirely sure on that. I'm sure they do have penis spines, but I think they're reduced. So, bisexual intercourse, homosexual intercourse between two males would not be painful. And usually they don't even do that. They just like rub their balls together or some crazy shit. Now, prolonged sex. Prolonged sex. They have so much sex. They tend to last longer than your average ape. But like I said, the dark side is the pedophilia, the molestation, and it's not outright. I'm not saying it's like, they're doing it all the freaking time and the babies are all the time, but it does happen just like it happens in our society. Yes, males can take out aggression on the young. Now the females, they don't have a penis. If they get sexually aroused by an infant and they have sex with it, it will not hurt the infant. But that's how they form their close bonds, through this half of the id, the libido negative and libido positive. That's how they form their social bonds. Whereas the common chimpanzee forms his social bonds, generally speaking, along here. However, he's very protective of this right here, but ain't gonna fuck with him. Yes, they will be very nurturing, very kind, playful, oftentimes, the common chimpanzee. So, it's not white or black. Okay. I believe Western society is co-dominant. It used to be that Western society was mostly patriarchal, but I don't think that's the case anymore in the 21st century. Patriarchal in matters of money, crushing the competition, killer instinct, economics, warfare, socioeconomic Darwinism, survival of the fittest, winner takes all, conservatism, will go to war to obtain more resources, patriarchal. The name of the game is fresh water, cities on lakes, rivers, etc. Food, domestic animals, domestic crops. 3. Shelter, utility and weapon resources, wood, steel, copper, papyrus, etc. Resources require territory. And the patriarchal male holding the phallic symbol. I will beat you over the head with this fucker if you fuck with us. I don't care if you're a tiger, hyena, or what the fuck ever you are. I will kill you. That's the way patriarchal males. Now, also, this starts blending into libido, positive and negative female psyche. Luxury resources like wine, silk, feels good on the skin, expensive cars, anything that increases happiness overall. It's a combination of both instincts, I think. Money is a resource influenced mostly by libido positive instincts, the pleasure principle, and is obtained, but is only obtained usually through destructive positive instincts through war or from grabbing. I want. Resources are finite, so there's always going to be war. Yeah, that's why you need to get the fuck out of here before we blow it all up. Our human nature is insatiable. Human nature is insatiable. It eats and eats and eats and eats until you go out into space and you look down and there's nothing but city lights, roads, and you can see the scars on Mother Earth and she's weeping. However, we are matriarchal in matters of nurturing children, sharing limited resources, and caring for the sick or injured. Domestic affairs take priority. Liberalism, hello? Over external threats. Liberal will be okay if we get our resources taken away. Sometimes to the point of downright the bad half. We'll be okay. We got enough. Even if like somebody takes our resources away, that's only going to embolden our enemy. But yeah, there's bad on both sides. Because both sides could end up getting us killed or wiped out. The name of the game for the matriarchal side, however, when it's done right, is to make do with what you have. Tame the beast inside that is greed. Children come first. Then women. Men are expendable, but this goes right back over to the patriarchal side. Men are expendable if supplies become short. Men should die first. It only takes one bull to repopulate a herd. That should have been on the patriarchal side. I'm sorry. Yes, we look for resources domestically more than we do externally. If we share, we'll make it. Money is a resource influenced mostly by for liberals, it's more the nurturing instinct. However, sometimes it is still obtained through destructive negative. Self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. I will give you my last piece of bread. Limit land grabs for resources and wealth. Keep the rich and powerful in check to keep warfare and economic stratification to a minimum. Easily satisfied, maybe to a fault. Both sides have faults. There's not as much competition. Okay, if we do have totally equal distribution, why the fuck work hard to get what you want? No need to excel or climb the economic ladder because there isn't one. That would be communism, and that's why it doesn't work. That completes the ape in denial. Thank you very much for listening, and I will do another one tomorrow. Thank you.